All right, well, let's talk about the next lie.
Oh, boy.
We had the story from the New York Post. Boston social justice activist and husband scammed at least $185,000 from donors, so saith the feds. They're being hit with, I think it's 18 different charges, federal charges. They say a high-profile social justice activist in Boston and her husband used a nonprofit they founded to scam at least $185,000 from donors who included a Black Lives Matter chapter and the local DA's office.
Whoa.
Federal authorities alleged Monica Cannon Grant and Clark Grant allegedly treated their Violence in Boston organization as a personal piggy bank to pay for rent, shopping sprees, delivery meals, visits to a nail salon, summer vacation trip to Maryland. I heard that they were going to Bubblegum Shrimp. That was one of the things that was heavily reported. They're going to mention the following year she was named Best Social Justice Advocate by Boston Magazine and one of the Boston Globe's Bostonians of the Year. When will people stop falling for this stuff? Should we run through the list again? Should we run through the list? The Trayvon Martin story. What was the initial report? That a white guy saw a black kid and then attacked him and killed him, shot him. What really happened? Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman got into a fight. Maybe Zimmerman was in the wrong for confronting him. He was a neighborhood watch, and Trayvon Martin was walking behind houses. Trayvon Martin had him in a ground pound position where he was on top of him and pummeling him. And then George Zimmerman shot him in the chest and killed him. Zimmerman's Hispanic. We also have Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. That was a lie.
That was total lie.
Total lie.
Also, remember with the Trayvon case, NBC actually deceptively edited the phone call in order to make it sound like Zimmerman was describing Trayvon Martin as being up to no good because he was quote unquote black. They asked him, what does he look like? He says he looks like he's up to no good. He's wearing a black hoodie, something along those lines. And they cut it together to say he looks like he's up to no good, black.
Well, the other thing is the whole thing was a sham with Trayvon Martin. The picture that you saw everywhere was him when he was like 11 or 12.
Right.
And he was much, much older and much, much bigger. They made it out like George Zimmerman beat up like a 12-year-old little punk kid. And he was much older than that.
Jussie Smollett, lie.
Gosh, yeah.
Ahmaud Arbery's story, he was just jogging. That was a lie. It's just every single day there's a new lie. And these people, they're Rittenhouse.
Yeah, the whole thing, the entire thing was that, oh, he crossed state lines and he shouldn't have that gun. As soon as I saw the story, it was very obvious to me, and I think everyone who saw it, that this was a case of self-defense. But then they started muddying the waters by saying he had broken gun laws or crossed state lines, and maybe he was looking for trouble. But not only could none of that be substantiated, I'm pretty sure they just made all of it up because it was so obvious that this kid was defending himself. And then what ends up happening is people go, well, because they've muddied the waters, now we have to wait for more answers before we can really be sure and take a side, and the story loses momentum.
At a certain point, I just, every few months I say something where I'm just like, it's all the same thing every day. We wake up, we have a new story. Because I've been talking about these stories and criticizing the hoaxes going on 7 or so years now. A little bit longer, but doing the actual YouTube stuff and the podcast stuff. And at a certain point, I'm kind of just like, what's the point of saying it if it doesn't change anything?
No. I think that's the wrong mentality. I wouldn't lose hope. There are a lot of people. You're seeing the complete decentralization of how people get their information. I was going through like a lot of your episodes before coming on, and it's absolutely beautiful. 450,000 people. I mean, for the last few episodes, watch your show. Yeah, that is beautiful. And
plus clips and live viewership isn't counted in that number. So
exactly. And the thing is, what you're doing is exactly right. You are giving so many people the information that they need, and you don't need to get 100% of the people. You don't even need 50%. You need a solid 10 to 25% of Americans that are getting solid information, because those are the people that are going to go talk to their family and friends and make sure that they know the information.